Ladies love the skin.
Ow.
Bring it a little bit closer. The good skin, that is. That's why having a proper skincare routine is very important, and you need to feel Lapeef. The process is so easy, just 4 steps. You got your daily face wash. That's going to clean your face up nice and right. You got your exfoliator scrub. That's going to open up your pores. You got your AM moisturizer with the SPM 20, which is going to protect you from the sun. You also got your PM moisturizer, which is going to make sure your skin is protected throughout the night. Lapeef has tons of reviews from dedicated customers across the world. I know I said a lot, but it's okay, because guess what? It comes with an instruction card to explain to you in detail what to do morning and night. And because Lapeef is a sponsor, they're offering my family 30% off along with a free gift. Just click that link that's in the description and feel the Lapeef.
wait. I know what you're going to say. I'm not a man and I don't have a beard, but he does. And so does he. I have 3 points for you that's going to help you grow your beard, and not just grow it, but hydrate it, allow it to come in healthy and shiny, and be able to groom it properly without all the flaking and the itchiness that sometimes comes with grooming the beard. Okay, number 1, be patient and consistent. Number 2, resist the urge to trim and shape your beard for the first 4 to 6 weeks. Number 3, don't hesitate to start now using products.
Just gotta take a moment to see. Oh, my beard looking so good. Man. Make sure y'all click that link.
Please tune in to our next video. We're going to give you more value, more information, and don't forget to purchase our products online at assuredmannaturals.com. There you can get 15% off when you use code Lapeef15, and we'll see you in the next video.
What's going on, family? How y'all doing?
Happy Sunday, y'all. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Go ahead and clean this up. Happy Sunday.
Hey,
I'm glad you guys attended today. It's going to be a great show. Looking forward to it. I know people have been discussing it, so we're going to just give our take. I know it's New Year's Eve, so we're going to kind of be an in and out. Hopefully you guys are going to be safe out there this evening if you do have any plans, and if you're staying at the house with the family, hope you guys are having an enjoyable time. Before we get the show started, let me go ahead and get the housekeeping out the way. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
That's my first time getting my Cloud Jones on with these AirPods, so see how I do. Shout out to the sponsor, T-Channel, the Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. 30% off along with a free gift. That link is in the description. Make sure you guys fill the Teach, as I always say. It works. It works. I use it every day, morning and night. And I developed my own system with it. So depending on your skin, and then just use what you need and get to it. But it's very important to keep your skin hydrated, and also making sure that we keep ourselves up to par, because that's what it is, right? You don't want to just be living life and falling off. You always want to be growing. So why not grow with your skin? Also with your hair. A lot of men are wearing beards, and I'm hearing that the women do love the beards. Ain't that right, Hank? Luis.
Right on.
Jay, I mean, you kind of that. You got the D Wade.
Oh, yeah.
You get the D Wade effect.
Good fight, yeah.
Yeah, but make sure you guys go ahead and click that link that's pinned to the top of the chat right there, and get your Assured Men. We got the beard, face, and body cleanser, the beard, hair, and oil, the beard, face, and body moisturizer, and then you also have the beard balm. I recommend getting the kit. That way you're able to get the full effect of it. But we do have 2 packs as well for you guys. Just understand, with it being new, you may want to try it out. But the 4-pack is the way to go. How you like that pack, Hank?
I'm good. I used it yesterday, and I'm make sure I get it on today. So yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay. How's it smell?
I was gonna say I really like the smell. That's what really caught me the most. So yeah.
Okay.
I enjoyed that.
Okay. See, like the beauty thing about having like the moisturizer is that some people don't like to go to bed with oily beard. So when you use the actual moisturizer, you can still have that soft effect when you wake up, and you put that pick through it, depending on the course of your hair. And so that way you get the best of 2 worlds. So that's why I say get the 4-pack. That way you can always make sure that your beard is in order when you go to bed and when you wake up. It's less work. A lot of times people look in their hair and it's pulling out. It's dry. It's not healthy. But if you keep using the system, you do it correctly, then you'll be okay. So again, go ahead and click that link that's been to the top of the chat. Assured Man, Lapeef-ing Sundays. Oh, today's the last day for 15% too. The last day for 15%. So you want to get 15% off, go ahead and click it. It makes an excellent gift for your husband, Miss Taken. I don't know if he got a beard, but he can use it on his eyebrows as well.
Damn, not the eyebrows.
Well, see, like the beauty about it is that it's made for the body as well. So even though you put on your hair, when it does transition to the body, it's okay. So whenever you get done, just feel free to rub on your body as well.
So the ladies can get it for the edges that's been snatched out.
Sure. Sure. Cookie, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get it cracking, man. Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Shout out to Dale Matthews. He's been a member for 18 months. Says likes up. Likes up. I see we got the Green Gang and Mr. BX87, Joe Lee. Shout out to you guys. Go ahead and get the show started. We're going to be discussing Jonathan Owens tells his wife, Simone Biles, he was the catch. And we're going to break it down. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but we're going to see if we can tie it into our own individual lives and see if we can come up with some solutions or understanding with a mix with a little bit of humor. So I know he's going to bring that humor. I'm looking forward to it. I'm always taking notes because I plan on doing stand-up comedy in 2024. So I've been taking notes from Hank, and I might just go ahead and go to Laugh Factor and see what it do, Hank.
I know that's right, big brother.
That's right. Right on, bro. Right on. All right, we're going to play this clip, and then we'll get into it.
Like, let me see who this is. Gymnastics. I ain't never, I never really paid attention to gymnastics, so it piqued my curiosity, So I'm like, okay, I'll see what's up. I swiped her, and it said we matched, so I'm just like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna see what's up. So I go do my workout, and I come back, and I get I had some likes on my Instagram, and I'm like, oh, this might be. I'm like, okay. So I see what's up, and then I still waited. I'm like, man, I'm gonna wait till I, take a shower and everything. Then I come back to my phone, and then she messages me on the app, like, hey, you know what I mean? And I'm, man, this gotta be fake. Like, I don't know. I didn't know who she was at the time, but the first thing that I saw was that she just had a bunch of followers. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, she gotta be good. I promise you, I'm a real life story. When she won the Olympics, I was in college, and we didn't have NBC, we didn't have Olympic channels, and we're in camp. Late July, early August. So I'm not paying attention to, so I never would have had a moment to where I would have watched
Jonathan, I'm gonna let you finish your story, man. Continue.
But like I was saying, man, she messaged me. This was like a Tuesday, and we texting back and forth, and then we hung out Friday, man. And we couldn't do much as COVID happened. Everything was shut down. So she came through down to Houston. She lived in the suburbs, so she had to drive about 45 minutes to me. Then the rest is history, man. So
you was really the catch in.
I always say the men the catch, man. I always say we the catch, man.
Yeah, so she really booked you.
She did, though.
Is what you're saying.
Because I was fighting it.
So in truth, if I say this out loud, was Jonathan Owens ain't really want Simone Biles. Is what you're saying.
At the time, I'm not going to say that.
That's what you're saying.
I was afraid. I was afraid to commit. I'm like, man, this is my third year. I'm trying to, I'm like, it's kind of early. But, like I said, man, it happened when you least expect it. And we hung out, man. It was like we hit it off instantly. All
right, just real quickly, we're going to break it down, but I just want you guys to answer this specific question. What stood out the most, if you can sum it up in one sentence and what he said? Simone.
In one sentence? Is that possible?
No, I'm just saying, what stood out the most? The key word is most.
The key words, I guess, catch, prize. Yeah, that's what stood out the most.
Hank, what about you?
I guess the part about him not knowing if it was real or not. That's what stood out to most of me.
All right, Nola.
He said that the man is the prize or the man is the catch has always been his position. So I'm thinking this is before Simone.
Okay. All right. One country.
What stood out to me the most was the fact that he said he didn't know who she was.
Okay. Luis.
It was his nonchalant uncertainty. He had a bit of uncertainty, but he was very nonchalant. He wasn't pressed to kind of be like, oh my God, I'm fumbling through my phone to figure out who she was. He was kind of okay, very passive. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like he didn't put a whole lot of pressure on himself or the situation. He was just very nonchalant about it.
I think same thing that Cookie said. He was capping about not knowing who she was. You know, he was lying. I'm sure he knew of her. And he used the words, I'm like, I don't want to, you know, he realized he hit a lottery. You know what I mean? Dating sites are horrible. You wouldn't say that unless you realize you hit the lottery.
Yeah, that was kind of alarming to me too. I was kind of surprised that they both was on a dating site. Like, do celebrities get on dating sites? That's normal?
It's a celebrity. It's a dating site specifically for celebrities. Like there's a site called Riot. It's strictly for.
They be on regular dating sites too.
Nah, I mean, of course, yeah. I mean, you know, but what I'm saying, that particular one that they met on, is like you can't get on there unless your income is this or you're a notable.
Okay, I see Jay got the T. Go ahead, Miss Taken.
Pretty much what Cookie and Jay said, but what I noticed more is the host's response to him saying that he didn't know her. Like the facial expression, the body language, like, did you know you lying? And then he basically came out and said, I'm gonna let you finish your story. But yeah, that's what I noticed more so.
But it's a bit of a double-edged sword in a way. Because, and I say that to say this. If he knew exactly, let's just go on the tangent that let's say he knew exactly who she was, right? And knew of her like really well. It would seem very thirsty and it would seem very desperate from a man who plays in an NFL and has a certain energy and a certain bravado about himself to feel like he needs to lust and lust after this woman. That's why he didn't seem like sweat about it. He was very nonchalant, very cool. You know what I'm saying? Because it will come off like very like weird, and people will flip it the other way. It's like, oh, he knew who she was. Like he knew he had a good thing, right? You know what I'm saying? But he was like very cool. And then on the other part, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know who she was until 1 year after she had one. We got to stop making pretend like black people know everybody at every sport level, because I honestly, genuinely don't. And I don't even.
Nobody said that he had to be pressed, though. You can not be like knowing somebody not be pressed. When he said that he didn't know her, you said you didn't know her until a year after. My thing is, at some point,
you knew her.
That when they decided to hook up from the time from the Olympics till now, because they just recently got married, that was more than enough time for him to at least have heard her name. Not saying he needed
or
to
see her
know
on the
exactly
Wheaties
what
box.
she was doing.
Yeah, but we got
on the news. I mean, he didn't have to watch the Olympics. She was on the news. She was on ESPN. She was on all of these other places. So,
but when they hooked up, she didn't participate in the Olympics. Remember, she was going through her mental thing, so she didn't participate in this recent Olympics in any event. She didn't participate in no event. She was with the team. She was a cheerleader, but she didn't participate in any event. So how is he to know? Look, the last time she participated in an event was when she was what, in 2016, when she actually participated in one. So
no,
when was the last one? When was the last one?
It was the World Championships.
Okay, well, nobody pays attention to World Championships.
Oh.
No, look, them young men do not pay. He's probably about 23, 24 years old. So now you got to go to World Championship. You got to go back 6 years. 6 years.
Is he
2019?
He said he was in college. Regardless, my son don't know who that heifer is. He doesn't know who Simone Biles is. He's 18 years old. So we can't just assume he's supposed to know. Nobody watched gymnastics. Who the fuck watched gymnastics?
Obviously, all of us.
This is not supposed to know.
Most men,
I think that.
Most men watch basketball and track. We don't give a goddamn about no goddamn gymnastics. We don't put out.
Hold on, y'all. I will get Shannon now. Go ahead, Shannon.
So I promise you, everybody on this panel probably watches more sports than me. I guarantee. Okay, but there are certain people that I know. I know who LeBron James is. I know who a certain football players are, just because I don't have to watch the sport to know that they're great at what they do. Okay, when it comes to Simone, I don't watch gymnastics either. You know, but I know who she is. When I was young, I went to Tuskegee. We did not have cable. We had nothing, but we knew who Dominique Dawes was just because she was Dominique.
You feel me?
I was
So
just about to
you don't necessarily have to watch a sport. And just like you said, she was in a down period. Even in her down period, they took moments to, she was on everything, like saying, oh, Simone is out of the game. Da, 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 you know, they still pumped her up even on her down, probably more than when she was on the mat. So with that being said, if you watch the news, it's really hard for me to believe that an athlete would not hear about another athlete. And I'm just a person, not an athlete. I mean, I was a cheerleader, but and I've heard of her. I don't even watch TV like that. And I've heard of her. So it's kind of hard. And what I'm gonna say is, if he says he didn't know who she was, that is absolutely fine. But I felt like it was I don't know if I'm getting ahead of the game. You can just stop me if I am. I felt like that was an opportunity for him to say, no, I didn't know who she was. But when I got to know her, she was an excellent woman. She was nurturing. All these other things outside of gymnastics. That was the reason why he chose her. You know what I'm saying?
That wasn't the question that was asked by the moderator.
He asked, was she the prize, right? That was the question, right? So as a prize, was that not the question? What was the question? What was the question?
He said, the host said to Jonathan, I think you thought you were the prize. And Jonathan agreed with him.
I want you to hold that thought real quick, because
So
that's going to bring me. Yeah. So that's going to bring me into one of the questions that I want to start off with, because some of the panel members said that that's what stood out to them. How do you feel about men saying they're the catch? And he also said that men are always the catch. So how do you feel about that? I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Nola. What are your thoughts?
I don't mind. You know, I think a lot of people are super used to women saying that. And the moment a man, well, I've never heard a man say it, I have to be honest. It's not something I frequently hear men say. And it's probably triggering. But when a person says, I'm the catch, or the other person is the catch, it kind of implies that the other person in the relationship is not. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. So if I'm the catch, that means my man is not. And how do you decide which person holds more value? You know what I mean? Are people upset because it's a man saying it? Are people upset because he didn't give Simone enough credit in the situation? I'm not sure. But if he is choosing to be with this woman, she has to be a catch to him. You know, so anybody can say they're a catch. Anybody. And I tell people, talk your shit. If you feel like, listen, I have this, that, and the third going on, I am working on myself, I am contributing a lot to this relationship, I am creating a healthy space for us to coexist, then yeah, you can call yourself the catch too. But I don't believe that one person in a relationship is a catch. If you're both interested in each other, you see value in the other person for whatever reason, then we're each other's catches.
So then, would you say that is it possible to say that if she pursued him, in his eyes, that he was the catch at that time? Because he don't know what type of value that she has. And based on what he was saying, he discovered, oh, she got all these followers, oh, this is this person here. So would it be safe to say that initially in the beginning, somebody can be the catch because they were pursued?
Absolutely. But he maintained that. And he said that men are always the catch. He didn't say, hey, in the beginning, she chased me, so I was the catch. He's like, men are always the catch. So women are not. And I'm not mad at him. You know, that could be his position. I don't know his experiences, but it's a two-way street. We're both interested in each other and you find value in me. But I really would have loved if the host asked him why he thinks that way. Why do you have this position? Why do you think you're the catch? Why do you think men are always the catch? I think that's a really significant question that was missed.
Is him saying the catch, is that triggering to you?
Is it triggering? No, because I'm the catch. You could call yourself the catch. Anybody can call themselves the catch. I'm cool with how you see yourself.
So then what if he said that he was a good man? Is he allowed to say that?
If he believes that, why not? But if
he says he's a good man, would he have to recognize that she's a good woman?
I don't think in an interview, I feel like when a certain group, well, even social media, if you put something on social media and use, because I've experienced it, you know, if you talk about one group and you leave another group out, there's somebody in that other group that's going to chime in and say, well, what about us? You know what I mean? I think it's okay for you to focus on one group or focus on yourself and not always have to include the other person to kind of level it out, especially if the question from the host is being asked a certain way. Now, if he's saying, I'm the catch, men are always the catch, and he's indirectly implying that Simone is not, then that's the Simone thing. Simone needs to figure that out, not me.
All right. I'm gonna go to you, Jay. What are your thoughts about it, sir?
I think the problem is that when people say that, you know what I'm saying? When men say that, it's indicating that the other person isn't. You know, like when people say I'm the prize or I'm the catch, it's to most people it'll trigger them because then it appears to be indicating that you're less than. You know what I mean? Where I think instead you could use the words I'm a prize or I'm a catch, meaning you're not less than, but I'm still that nigga. You know what I mean? Like, don't get it twisted. So I think that triggers other people. But I don't think there's a problem with saying, yo, like, I'm a catch, I'm a prize. Like, somebody's gonna be very lucky. You know, I don't think there's a problem with that. You should feel that way about yourself.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go to you, Shan. What are your thoughts about it, man? How do you feel about men saying they the catch, and are they always the catch?
Who did you say, me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. I don't think they're always the catch, but I do think that in this particular situation, because I did just go back and listen to it, that's why I didn't hear you say me. When he named all the things, for example, he was non-committal, all those things. He wasn't looking for a relationship, so he felt like, oh, she got me, so I'm the catch, right? That's how the whole thing came up, if I'm correct, right? So I can see why he feels like he's the catch, because this is not even something I wanted to do, but I did it for her, so she caught me. It's a surprise, all right? I don't think that all men are a catch, but I think that he's a good catch. You know, I mean, from what I can see, he seems like a nice guy. She seems to be happy with him and all of those things. So for now, he may be a catch or the prize, or he just may be a surprise. We'll never know until we see. It's gonna take a little minute, but she seems to be okay with it. She was smiling. She felt like he was a catch. She kept going for him. I don't mind men saying they're the catch. I don't mind anybody saying that they're a catch. But just like Nola said, I think that some people, women have always been taught, you always want a man who loves you more than you love him, right? That's just the thing, right? And so when people hear that, oh, I'm the catch, it's like a little cockiness about it. Just like Nola says, like, okay, well then what is she? You know, you want to feel that way about your partner. I want to make sure that my partner to me is a prize and I'm a prize to him. It kind of goes both ways. So that's just my input.
Okay. Go ahead, Cookie. What are your thoughts about it, man?
I had some talk about this with some friends, and well, I think the most surprising part about it for me was that this is a celebrity couple, and then there's just certain things that you should and should not say. Okay. And he brought all of this on himself just simply by, what is that? Like Jay said, how he said it. I believe that the union is the prize. I believe anybody can be a catch, if that's the word that he used. I just didn't grow up hearing men say that out loud. I know that men feel that way. I know my dad thought he was the catch. I mean, he loved himself, right? So I'm used to men that love themselves. They know that they that dude. But to hear him on an interview outright say that, I feel like I ain't the catch, with his girls, with a female sitting right there, it was just a little weird for me. It wasn't triggering to the point where how dare him or she's more. It isn't about more or less. For me, it just seems like that is not something that should come out of especially a celebrity male's mouth. It sounded weird.
I was looking at the comments and they were saying that when men say that a catch, it sounds zesty. Would you agree?
It depends on how they say it. The way that he said it. Okay, so I know Ryan Clark. Me and Ryan went to college together, the host on that show. We went to LSU together. And the reason he was looking like that is because, first of all, he knew the guy was lying. And second of all, like, to say that in an interview is like PR death. You know what I mean? So when they say he sounded zesty, it is because of the way it came out. Well, I think he rubbernecking while he's saying it. You know, like, I think I'm the catch. It's his mannerisms. I mean, if he had been like sitting there looking like Hink and was like, "Yo, she caught a dub," or she got her a good man or a real man, it'd have been different. But to just sit there and be like, "I'm the catch," I feel like I'm the catch. That's female verbiage to me. So I'm not used to that, but I'm from the country. Men don't talk like that where I'm from. So like when my dad would talk about my mom and him getting together, he was like, "She knows she got her a boss. Your mom know. That's why we together. We've been together 50 plus years." So I'm the catch. That's just like some girl would say. I've never heard a man say that like that before. It's always been females. So
You know, what's the difference between someone saying that I'm the catch and I'm really great in finances? I'm the best when it comes to
it's all
finances
in
in
how
a
you
relationship.
say it. I'm huge on how people say things and how people deliver things.
I don't think he said it anyway. He just said he was the catch. The same way as if he would say that I'm good at finances. I make better financial decisions in a relationship.
Okay, so but that's a verb. That's an action. He's being descriptive when he says he's a catch. So if you're good at, I don't know, he could have been talking about segs or whatever. You know, I don't like to say that word on the air. That's a verb. That's something you physically can do. Self description, but it's a double standard with men and women. Y'all have double standards too, just like women do. The double standard is men talk about themselves in a certain way, and saying you a catch is just weird to me. It doesn't. I mean, that's a double standard. That's I'm a catch. Like I hear my homosexual homeboys say that all the time. So it's not like I'm going off of bias. I'm just saying there's a different way he could have said it for me.
Well, he was asked a question, and I think it was in relation to what happened as far as how did they meet. And so he was just saying that he was the catch. He's not walking around saying, I'm the catch, I'm the catch, I'm the catch. It was tied into the
No, but he
conversation.
did it on
So, like, does that make
world renowned show. Like this is a big huge show, and he that's the verbiage he decided to use. I felt like he could have used a different verb. Whether he feels like he the catch or not, that's on him. That's between them. I feel like the way he said it and the way he was like, "Oh, I was trying to resist her," all of that was like he might as well made his girl seem thirsty on national TV. And when you're a celebrity, you can't do certain things. Like that's Simone Biles. He's who he is. So they have to be careful how they present themselves. That's all I was saying about it. But hey,
well
who am I?
I'm in it with this, and I'm gonna come back to you, but I think somebody on the panel said that he's in the NFL. That's Jonathan Owens.
I know.
So, he has the image too that
That's
he.
what I said. Both of them. They're a celebrity
Okay.
couple. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Luis. What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I want to kind of start off on a very basic kind of level. I would like to think that women still date up. I would still like to think that women typically want a man who's better than them. And when men die in their marriages, everything gets left and inherited to the woman. You know what I'm saying? Everything that he carved out for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm curious to know who are the women who are raising their young boys to be losers, who are not raising their young boys to be winners, to strive for more for themselves, because society outside definitely won't celebrate them. So I'm curious to know what type of programming is being told to young people to feel like they can't themselves, reach great heights or become a prize. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like where you're humbling young men and young Black men from the day that they're born, even before they reach a certain level of greatness or pedal. So I'm still under the assumption that, that men are still pursuing women. You know what I'm saying? Like, men are still approaching women, shooting their shot. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to catch them. You know what I'm saying? In whatever, space it may be, whether it's virtual or whether it's, physical. I'm still under the assumption that men are still approaching women in them approaching them to catch them for a relationship or an engagement. Right? It just sounds to me that we tend to kind of sit on the sidelines and look at society. We want men to be mediocre. That's what I get. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes can no longer kind of celebrate themselves or celebrate who they are or whatever milestone they might hit. Like we've gotten to a point today that I feel like we are okay with mediocre. And we kind of switched the paradigm where we're giving even women participation trophies just for showing up. I look, the whole catching prize thing, like, I never grew up hearing any of that. Like, that's like Gen Z, model language. Like, I've never understood that. You know what I'm saying? I would think that, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. And if that man is in pursuit of a relationship, then, you know what I'm saying, he found himself a good thing. I mean, I know that it came off a little bit like his bravado was kind of like lax, right? Because, I mean, who's to really say that he genuinely didn't know who she was? You know what I'm saying? Like, I find that dudes spend a lot of time, in the weight room and training and preparing themselves, that they don't spend a whole lot of time. I didn't know who she was until after a year that she won. And then that's when I noticed her. But she wasn't always constantly in the feed. Like, her name was in my ear. But, like, I would agree that a lot of a lot of men at that time, weren't really like checking. They saw it, but they weren't like really deep investigating. You know what I'm saying? And into her credit, and her accomplishments, which she would need to be highlighted. But when we're talking about the context of a relationship, all that stuff is extra. That's all accolades, it's all degrees and stuff like that. We're talking about the two people who came together and, after all the smoke was cleared, found a way to create a relationship and then take the steps to go into marriage. Their approach, whether you like it or not, may be unorthodox, but they found each other. And I find that a lot of people who had a lot of smoke and a lot of vitriol, you know what I'm saying, were people who are single and miserable. Because, you know what I'm saying, for me, I'm looking at it from the perspective, I'm celebrating the unionship of this young couple who didn't put pride and ego to a side and decided to come together and make something great, right? We're focusing too much on the hierarchy and the dynamic of who's who, who's catch, who's prize, and stuff like that. And I agree with the sister who made the sentiment that the unionship or the relationship is really the grand prize, right? And I think if they, if that interview didn't happen, a lot of people who claim to care, they wouldn't have really cared about their unionship or their relationship. They wouldn't have taken a moment to celebrate that. But they're quick to celebrate and tear down whether somebody misspoke or whether somebody said something, ooh, like, he can't let her, you know what I'm saying? She can't let him do this and that. Like, it's fueled with, vitriol. And honestly, people are out here and they want their pound of flesh. They don't care where they get it from. So I'll yield right there.
All right. Well, mistaken. How do you feel about men sanity?
I'm not gonna lie, it sounded a little zesty to me when I hear men say that. I don't think it's an issue of knowing and having confidence in what you bring to the table, what you can bring to a relationship. I think where it comes from, like for me, where it sounds a little, feminine in a man saying I'm a catch, is because traditionally, typically is the man that is pursuing the woman, right? So, I mean, if he's a fisherman, he's throwing his net out to catch, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I would say it's more a feminine term for a woman to be the catch as opposed to a man. But not to say that he's not a good man either. I just think it's the verbiage that makes the difference. I take it to mean that he was saying that he knows he's that dude and she got a good dude, right? So if it was stated like that, I'd be like, oh, it's just, for me, I know I'm caught up on the fact that he said he's a catch, because to me, that's more associated with femininity of a woman. But truth be told, I think if you caught, then you're a catch. You know what I'm saying? People are dating, all the time and get, thrown back, so the fact that both of them saw qualities, characteristics, attributes in each other that they felt were in alignment to make a great relationship. In that regard, I think both of them, were the prize. Both of them were the catch. Hey, babe. Oh, sorry. Yeah, both of them were the prize. So I just think that, yeah, it just sounded a little feminine to me, but I understood what he was trying to say.
You on mute?
That was a question somebody had in the chat, and it says, "Jay, I asked the women, was Harry a catch for Meghan? Was Harry a catch for Meghan?" Ladies, Shan, was Harry a catch for Meghan?
I think they were both catches in different ways.
But like, who was pursuing who though?
I don't know who pursued that.
He pursued her. And Harry and Meghan, he pursued her. And when you say a catch, I mean, it depends what your intent is. Are you saying that to be married, to integrate him into a different culture than he was already in? Like, she's the one, I think she's the reason a lot of Americans know a little more about him. And I'm not saying like black culture, because she's not a part of black culture. She's kind of like suburban culture. But the people who weren't fully aware of him, now they're aware. They're watching their story, they're following their, voyage on leaving the royal family, which that kind of crash and burn now. But what is your intent? Was his intent to break into American culture and be, an icon or personality, or is his catch to procure a wife and ride off into the sunset? So as a wife, maybe not. As a run into American culture, yeah, she was a catch for that. People looked at him differently now.
I do want to say something too. I take my initial statement back about he may have known her. I still think he probably have. But when I thought about who do I know that's in the NFL, and the truth of the matter is, the only person that I can name off the top of my head, because I don't watch football, was just what's his name, Brady. He's just one person, and then the other person I was like, Russell Wilson. The only reason I know him is because of everybody making a big deal between him and Sierra. If I had not heard the issues between everybody having an issue with him and Sierra, I probably wouldn't have known Russell Wilson either. So the possibility of him not knowing her is there, but I agree with Shan about, even if you don't watch the sport, I don't watch football, but I heard of Tim Brady. I didn't watch golf, but I heard of Tiger Woods. I did, what I'm saying? It's so many sports that I can think of that I know at least one person
Hold on,
stood
guys.
out. Like I didn't watch this, but I
why did you interrupt Jay to say all of this and it was Jay's time to talk? Why are we doing
It was
this?
actually the women's time to talk.
No.
Oh,
Jay was talking.
JR, pull that question back up.
Well, Hink,
I
you
know
just
the
did what
question.
you're getting on me for. So, Jay, if I interrupted
This is not
you,
cool, man. But go ahead. You right. You right. Go ahead.
did
Go
the
ahead.
same
You
thing
right.
again. Hey,
You go. You
Jay,
right.
I
You right. You right,
apologize.
man. Go
I
ahead.
didn't
My bad.
realize that
My
I cut
bad.
you off.
She
My
off
bad.
subject,
I'm
but
asking you.
women's
Right.
supposed
You're
to
right.
be talking.
You're right. My bad. I got you.
Happy Sunday.
JR,
Happy
what was
Sunday.
the question so I can
My
answer
time's
it?
coming. My time is coming.
Stan, your face is the worst.
My time is coming. Please don't interrupt me. I got you. I'm
JR
gonna respect you.
asked us something, y'all,
You right. You right. You right. That was my bad. My bad.
and a man answered it.
Wait, did
JR,
I cut
can you put
Jay
the
off?
question back up,
Jay,
please,
did
so
I
I can
cut you
answer
off?
it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and reel it back in. Let's go ahead and reel it back in, y'all. It was a question that I posed to the ladies that started, but he basically was asking who was the catch. Was Harry the catch to Meghan? Something like that.
Okay, well, that has never been discussed because Harry would never do an interview knowing his high profile and discuss that at all. But when he does talk about Meghan, he talks about her like she's a savior. That's number one. I don't believe that their union was everything to him, and he even left the royal family for her. So I don't know what his viewpoint is because he hasn't been given it. Nobody actually asked Mr. Owens that question. He said it himself. They implied it the way he was talking. But no, Harry has never sat back and been like, "Well, I'm the catch because I'm the prince." Certain people with certain etiquette don't. Sorry, that's my fantasy team. Certain people with certain etiquette don't say things like that, and that was my whole point. We don't know who thinks they're the catch. Now, if you're asking my opinion, who the catch was, she wasn't royalty. So maybe she hit a lick, maybe she didn't, but he's not royalty anymore. Now they're just two regular schmegula people. He's not with the British family anymore. So their union was the catch. They're together with their kids safe in Canada and they chilling. So I don't even understand the question. That's stupid. You can't compare the two because Harry has not come out and said he a catch.
Yeah,
Only Owens did that. Only black men do. No shade. I love y'all to death. But it's like, bruh, for what? Like, what? Why are we talking about this? I thought our union was the prize. Like, why are we talking about prizes and catches? I agree with Louise. Is that what that say? Yeah. I don't get that. Like, I've never heard that. I've heard it be joked about. You know what I'm saying? But like to be specific, be like, who was the catch? Who is more valuable? Bro, does that even really matter when you're with somebody? That should be the conversation. That shouldn't come out of either person's mouth to me. So yeah, whatever, man. I guess.
Okay. Let me go get to Hink on this question. How do you feel about men saying they're the catch? And make sure y'all don't cut Hink off, y'all.
Man, this is some bullshit, man. This is some bullshit, JR. This is around this bullshit because these heifers called himself the prize all the goddamn time. But we're going to question my man's sexuality when he says it. We call him zesty. We call him gay. We call him homosexual or think he is because he feels like he's a prize. Goddamn right he's a prize. The heifer's irrelevant now. She's not in the Olympics no more. She aged out. She's done. Now, only thing she's getting paid off is advertisement and her past accomplishment. Not a current accomplishment, her past accomplishment. That's it. That is it. This guy's in the NFL. He just recently signed a big deal with the Houston Texans. So, yeah, is he the catch? Hell yeah. I believe the man when he said he didn't know her. The man was probably about 17, 18, 19 in college when she last won an Olympic medal. He's probably in high school then. Then he was in college when she was participating in some summer games who nobody really gives a goddamn about. So, yeah, he's a prize. She reached out to him. He didn't go looking for her. And so I have no problem with this man calling himself the prize. If that's what he considered himself the prize, that's what he is. I have no problem with that, man. Not at all. He should be considered a prize. He's an NFL player. If you look at half the NFL, these black men, half of them got white women. So for a black woman to get a black man that plays NFL, you got you a catch. Because these brothers ain't going for y'all no more. They going with them pretty white bunnies, the snow bunnies. They not looking at y'all. Why? Because y'all say shit like this. Y'all question man's sexuality. Y'all question man because he did the interview. No, he should have said that. If you, that's a problem now. Black men's been so used to being told, shut up, to just accept whatever you get. Oh, but you every black woman's a goddamn queen. Ain't none of y'all married to a king. How y'all queens? A king has to make you a queen. You're not. You're self-entitled calling yourself a goddamn queen, calling yourself a goddamn prize. Ain't nothing prize about half you heifers out in this world. Nothing. Not a goddamn. You're fat, you're out of shape, and you got bitch boy attitude. What makes you a goddamn prize? It's not your looks, because you ain't real. You coming fake. You got all this goddamn makeup on, look like Tammy Faye Baker. What the fuck is a prize about your stanky asses? Nothing. So you get mad at me if you want to. I don't give a goddamn. Make sure you put in the comments how much you hate him and how much he's real, though. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for not interrupting. I appreciate that.
I just want to clarify that you're incorrect about her not, being involved in competition, because she started back up, I think, sometime back in August or something, and she's looking to compete in the 2024 Olympics as well. So she's still relevant. She still participates. But
until she participates and wins something, she's irrelevant, though.
But,
just because she's on the team.
Hold on, Hickey. No, you can't interrupt him.
You're right. My bad. I'm sorry, mistaken. I apologize.
All right. But my whole thing is we are in a space a lot of times when we are hearing men when they say that women are doing or saying things that sound masculine, right? And so I don't understand when it's reversed and we say that something that a man said sounded feminine or zesty. I don't think that that's saying that the person is gay. Just like I don't think when you guys are saying that women say or do things that's masculine, that y'all are trying to say that they're gay. So I think, again, which this is a prime example, is how when we hear language or we hear words that we interpret it for our own meaning of how it impacts or how it sits with us. When I heard him say he's the catch, to me that sounded feminine, not saying that he's feminine, but I associate that word with femininity, with a woman being associated with her being the catch. If he used a different word, I think that word would have sounded more masculine, like, yeah, I'm that, you know what I'm saying? Like something like that. I'm that ninja, or yeah, she know what she got, something like that. To me, that doesn't sound feminine. I associate catch with a feminine word, not to say that he's feminine, because he doesn't appear like, I didn't feel like he gave off feminine energy. Like, he ain't breaking his wrists or nothing like that. So I didn't get that vibe. But overall, I would say that looking at the both of them, I think the problem with us and where we are now in this state overall is this wanting to leveling people to say this one is more, have more value than this person. This person is beneath me. And I think for me, that's the bigger issue, is the fact that there always have to be this downgrading one person so the other person look better. And when you're in a relationship, a relationship with that mindset will never work, because both people have to see the value in each other. And that's what makes the relationship work, because she's going to come to the relationship bringing qualities, attributes, and stuff that he's going to respect and admire. and that's going to fit for him, and vice versa. She's looking for things in a relationship that he's going to bring to her as a husband that only he can. So in that regard, if they're fitting like a puzzle piece, then that means both of them found a catch in each other. And why can't we just leave it at that? Why does it have to be like, oh, he's more valuable than she is? Oh, no, she's global. Don't nobody other than in the US know him as an NFL player, but everybody know who she is. Like, it doesn't
Nobody
matter.
cares.
If the relationship is working, then that's the part that you focus on. The focus, it needs to be on, I hope they make it, just on the strength that a lot of marriages don't. So if they found each other and it's going to work and they see the value in each other, then I think that's where the focus needs to be.
First,
So
can
when
I
y'all
address
call a
these?
man, when y'all call a man zesty, what are you calling a man?
I said,
It's not gay.
No, come on, man. When I hear these motherfuckers call people zesty,
I didn't call him
you
zesty.
question man's sexuality. You're pretty much calling him a gay man. That's what you're saying.
Relax. First
Who
of
said he
all,
was zesty though? Where did that come from? I'm sorry, I'm a little
in
I
the
said
Somebody
the
say
word
zesty.
catch. I
It
did.
came
I
from
said
the
the word
comments.
catch. Him using it in that tone to me sounded zesty. The word itself to me coming from a man that sounds
I know.
zesty.
So when
That
you
sounds
say that
feminine.
though, when you saying zesty, you pretty much accusing a man of being gay. Using that word of anyhow you say, sounding zesty, looking zesty, you calling that man gay.
I said that too.
Listen,
I said feminine.
mistaken. Listen, this is
Yes,
what it really
you are
is. Let me
calling
say
him
what it
gay.
is. What
So
it
even
really
if I said
is.
feminine, that would have been calling him gay. If I said the word catch sounded feminine to me, would that be saying that I'm calling him gay?
Man.
The reason I'm
Let's call
saying
it what
that
it is. May
is
I?
that's the way that it resonates
Y'all
with
need to stop
you,
this.
Hank. But just like I said, we've been on this show, I don't know, several times. And I've always heard if a woman does this, it is masculine. You are not saying that she is gay because you're saying that she's masculine. You're saying that she's feminine attributes that's more so associated with a man. Same thing I'm saying. The fact that he said he's a catch to me is a word that's more associated with a woman. That's not saying that he is gay. And
it sounds like to me that some men on the panel just can't handle that. There's a double standards in life. Just like women can't do certain things, we can't go out and have sex with all of our options. That makes us a whore. Men can do that. Y'all have that option and can still be loved. Women find out they have too many bodies, she's a whore. Okay, now when it flips side, when it comes to men having double standards, it sounds like y'all are advocating to be chicks. So let's be for real here. There are double standards when it comes to what kind of language men need to use. Where I'm from, the moral of the story is y'all are hurt because we're saying that calling yourself a catch on national TV or on a national podcast and having the men around you look at you sideways because the host was, I know Ryan, he was looking at him like, what? To say that out loud, like you can say that in your heart, in your chest, use another word, my boy. But the word catch or prize is feminine. That's all that it is, but y'all don't like female
Y'all
double
make it
standards.
feminine.
Y'all
That's what
can have, y'all do have double
y'all make
standards
the word
too.
catch feminine. Is that what y'all doing? Even though it's always been used as a masculine
Okay,
term,
so
you
what
have
is
a catch in
masculine
football, you
behavior
have
in
a
a
catch
woman
in
then?
basketball, you
No,
catch the
what is
pass,
masculine
you catch the
behavior in a
ball.
woman then, Hank?
You catch fish. I always think it's a masculine thing, but when they describe it and when they talk about themselves, all of a sudden it's feminine. Yeah, that makes no sense to me.
What?
Can I say
Every
something?
time I think of her catch, I think about football, I think about baseball, I think about catching a pass, or catching a basket, or whatever the case, catching something. I always thought about as a masculine way, but now he's talking about himself, calling himself a catch. It's considered feminine now.
It's a double
All right,
standard, Hank.
all right. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Let me get Shannon in there, then Nola. Go ahead,
Okay,
Shannon.
I got you.
First of all, I love you, Hank, my little teddy bear. But what I wanted to say was one of the things that you stated out of your mouth was, normally women say it all day. When a man says it, so when you state that, that means it's normally a female who does it, not necessarily a man. That's one. And two, I would agree with you. One of the things you also stated was, here's an NFL player. I Googled him. I didn't know him before, but I Googled him. He makes a pretty decent amount of money. And let's just be honest. It's going to be hard to find somebody, you know, of that caliber, because there's just not that many. And then she found someone who is there in the same class of people that she could marry. And I don't think it's bad for a man to say, hey, I was a catch. You know, I'm a great husband, to speak highly. Now, a prize, different story. Using the word prize over catch, but I don't see that as being like, you know, I guess the way it came out, it did kind of sound a little funny, but the word catch itself, you know, I don't know. I guess it did. Because usually women say, oh, he was a catch. You know, we do it for you. I guess I never heard him say it.
So what are women?
You're right.
He got a single mom.
But I just want to emphasize, you're right. His pay, where he does for a living, all of those things, the fact that she was able to find someone who was pretty much in her same class, that's extraordinary. You know, that's not normal. So that in itself is rare. And I think that for me, him not having to say it, me saying it, I think he was a catch. You know, I think he's a catch. So he didn't have to say it.
We think y'all the catch.
Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Let me go to Nolan and then Luis had a question. Go ahead.
So Shan, you ended up saying what I was planning on saying, that yes, at the top of the conversation, I stated that we're not used to hearing men say that. But if a man feels like he is, then he should say that. But we do say that about men all the time. We do hear it all the time. Men don't say it, but people say it about men all the time. He's a great catch. We hear it all the time. That's what I wanted to say.
You got a question?
Yeah, I'm just curious, man. What are women telling their sons? What, like, fill in the blank. You're a what? I'm curious to know. Because like this whole term, like catch, prize, whatever it is, it's a form of affirmation in some sense, right? So I'm curious, what are women telling their young sons, especially their young Black boys? I'm asking a genuinely honest question. And I hope I could get a genuinely honest response from people in the chat or on the panel. Like, if you don't do that, then say that. But if you genuinely do, what is that?
I don't have a son.
I have a 12-year-old, and if you observe our relationship, I think it would say a lot about how I've always regarded him, how I speak to him. There have been times when he was much younger and I would be on the phone with somebody, and if I have to talk to my son really quickly, they'll be like, are you talking to your kid? Because it sounds like you're talking to an adult. There's always been a high level of respect, and we do affirmations too, you know, but I don't come from a culture, being from Guyana, I don't come from a culture where you speak to kids in general with respect. It's kind of like, you're here, but we don't want to hear from you because your opinion is not as valuable as the elders in the room. So sit down, shut up, be quiet, don't move. I've never done that with my son. And if you see how he interacts with me, it's a reflection of how I interact with him. It's full-blown respect, a lot of love. And I do big him up all the time, especially when and you know what? This is kind of a sidebar. We had homeschooled his whole life, and he went to school for the first time in the 6th grade. And the first thing that he did, which was shocking to everybody, including me, he was like, I want to be the school president. And I'm like, you want to be the president of the school? And I think that was a direct reflection of how he's spoken to and how he's fed.
Okay, I like that. All right, let me go ahead and transition. We're still discussing something similar to this topic, but let me get these super chats out the way. Ray Alexander says, high value women $5 million per year earning. Simone Biles use her status and clout to catch a $1 million per year earning high value male. Jonathan Owens, gender role reversal. Ray Alexander Biles says, according to Forbes, Simone Biles on $5 million annually in endorsements from Aletta, SK2, Skincare, Visa, United Airlines, and Mondelez brands. And then lastly, Clement Gray, number 14 months, says Simone presented herself to Jonathan. Jonathan was presented to him and married her. Both prizes. This is what happened with Adam and Eve. I want to thank everybody that has contributed to the platform thus far. Again, shout out to the sponsor, Teach, handling uncomplicated skincare for men, 30% off on the free gift link is in the description. And also, this is the last day to be able to get your 15% off. 15% off for sure, man. Let's get your beard in order. It's an excellent product for husbands, sons. Nola, I don't know if your 12-year-old son got a beard yet, but you can go ahead and get them right, set them up. It's crazy. I have an 18-year-old. It's crazy because he didn't want to keep the beard, but now that he got a little hair on his face, he keeps coming in here like, you see me? You see me? He's been using that as sure, man. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get the likes up. I don't know where we are with the likes, but 195 people in here. Let's make sure we get the likes up to at least 180. And let's keep it moving. So Paris did chime in on this discussion, and she had a video saying that we are overreacting. We are overreacting. So I'm going to play this clip, and let's just go ahead and get a response in relation to Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens. Sometimes it seems to happen, so let me go ahead and just re-put the video back in there. My apologies.
Y'all finna make me upset about Simone. And I know you don't know what you're doing, so I'm finna tell you. You making a big deal out of nothing. And this is one of the keen examples of what men be saying when they be like, keep your homegirl out your business. Because there is no reason why him knowing who she is, upset some of y'all the way that it did. If she didn't feel disrespected, why do you feel the need to be disrespected? I'm going to tell you what it is. We got a bigger issue at hand. There's a collective of black women who feel superior to black men. There is a collective of black women who do not know how to profile themselves without talking about all of their accolades, because that is how they define their personality. They're nothing more than what the accomplishments that they have made. They can't tell you about who they are as a regular individual when everybody is not looking. And we also have a collective of black women who only want to dick police black men when his idea of success doesn't measure up to hers. But if Jonathan was an NFL player married to a white woman and she was sitting in the skybox every Sunday when he was playing the games, I'm sure you guys would be real invested into his money and his resources and his time, and you'll know who he was then, because one of y'all would have missed the opportunity. But you know, my memory like an elephant, and you could tell me if I'm wrong. I don't recall none of y'all having any of these concerns or even looking for Jonathan when she was going through her depression phase. I don't recall none of y'all being this much of support and encouragement when she didn't do the destination wedding that you just thought she should have, because you know what her money can buy. Or I don't recall any of y'all being as uplifting because her hair didn't look like what you thought her hair should look like every time you seen her in a tournament or, again, for her wedding. Let's be honest, you guys never have really supported her, even though we know she is the most incredible gymnast in the world. I do you one better, right? Black men support more sports in every sector than black women. The WNBA right now is going through a financial disparaging bias because they're not. I ain't gonna go there. I will say, when I watched Travis Kelce and Kayla, y'all had a lot to say about that man because he wanted to be, you know what, that's getting off topic. But then again, you know, when we talked about Keke Palmer and she responded to y'all and she was on y'all side and y'all amped her up, we see what she going through. I just don't want that for black women. Maybe you should not want that for black women. Maybe y'all should think better of marriage and family and unity, and, you know, maybe y'all should reevaluate that. And some of y'all too old to be acting like that. All I'm gonna say is, Simone is happy. Y'all overreacting.
All right, Paris says we are overreacting. Shout out to Janae. I did see a lot of comments that were saying her man embarrassed her. Her man embarrassed her. Paris thinks that we overreacting. So let me get you guys' thoughts about that.
Who up?
I think, well,
She said a lot. Y'all know I talk a lot, so if I can't follow, that's a problem. But but the main thing, I guess, of what she was saying is this is we're making this a big deal, and it's really not that serious. I can definitely agree with her to that point. It really isn't that serious. The truth of the matter is whether he said that he was a catch or not, the thing that boils down was she offended? And if she handled it correctly, we would never know, because that situation should be handled behind closed doors. So the truth of the matter is that if she did have an issue with it and they discussed it and they worked it out, then it's good. And that would let me know that she's a catch because she handled it the correct way. A lot of times as women, and I'm just say for Black women, because that's who I'm around the most, is that they've lost the art of being able to suck stuff up in a moment to then handle stuff behind closed doors out of respect for the relationship and the man. You know what I'm saying? So if she did have an issue with it, I would think, based on, assuming that he feels that she's a catch, that she definitely handled that behind closed doors with him. And I think that they're good, that they're good. But I mean, if she didn't have an issue with it, then why are we upset about it? That's the bottom line.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
In reply to Paris, what I don't understand is, first of all, I can't relate. I'm a woman in sports, so I know a lot of people in sports. I follow a lot of people and I support sports fully. But my question is, why can't people have an opinion without people assuming that they're overly consumed with caring about that certain subject? I already said I believe that the union is the ultimate prize, right? Do I feel like what he said was zesty? Yes. The end. That is the end of that for me. I'm happy for Simone. Accolades don't mean anything. Money doesn't. Forbes doesn't mean anything. They're together. They love each other. Did he say something I found suspicious? Absolutely. But that is my opinion. I didn't go on and make a video or rant about. I haven't even seen anybody else's videos about it because I can only talk about what I think and what I know. So, in reply to Paris's video, me overreacting, no, because I don't care enough to overreact. Me responding with an opinion, absolutely, because I have the right to have an opinion, but I don't care enough to overreact. So there's that part. That's really all I had to say, because Paris said a lot and she always says a lot, but I love Paris, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like, bro, why does it have to be all of that when it could just be, I felt like what he said was more of a feminine trait. It's a double standard. He shouldn't have said it out loud when his wife is Simone Biles. And that's how celebrity things work. There's certain things you can't say when you're in a celebrity relationship, and both of them are celebrities. And that is the backlash that they get. The end. That's how I feel about that. Don't care about anything else. I just do hope that their marriage, because of the statistics, lasts. Because I'm happy to see any Black couple be together, because that's the prize. And I do know who Jonathan Owens is because I follow football. He's just not on my fantasy team, so I don't care about his stats right now.
Okay. Go ahead, Jazz Story 2.
Damn, I lost my train of thought. I think the problem is that what he said, it matters to people who care. it didn't matter to her because she feels that way about him. You know, since they've been together, I've seen her do nothing but uplift this dude. I don't know what he's going through in his personal life, but she looks at him like God. You know what I mean? She uplifts him. So clearly she feels that he's a catch. Now, for him to say that about himself, I'm sure that didn't bother her because she already feels that way. But for people who don't feel like men are the catch or don't feel like that should be said or feel like it's zesty, that's a problem for them. But their opinion doesn't matter when it comes to that union. You understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. I think overall, with the term, zesty or whatever, I think in the last like probably 5 to 6 years, women are starting to learn who men are. For a long time, they didn't know. They thought, oh, this is a sweetheart. Our circles of men, our friends, we know who they really are. We knew who the dirt bags were. We knew who the good guys were. We knew who the good guys moonlighting as dirt bags moonlighting as good guys. We knew all those people in our crews. They didn't. So now that you pull out these microphones and these podcasts, and it's pretty much like the barbershop amplified times 10, because there's an entertainment aspect and there's a real aspect of it. There's a place where we could vent. You know how many people was in the barbershop venting, saying the same thing? He said, nigga, I'm the prize, man. This chick over here, blah, 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 blah. That was the barbershop. You waiting to get your hair cut. Y'all going in. That's where we get to be our authentic selves. Now, in the past 4 to 5 years, the veil's been removed and you're seeing all these guys, and it's like women are like, what? Who are these niggas? These are men. These are the people you lay down next to and hold at night. He's an asshole. You hugging him tight. You don't know that, but when he come to the barbershop, he tell me how he really feel. That's the problem. So they are being overwhelmed with reality to see that the person that you love, that you laying next to, is an asshole. And you got to live with that. But it's overwhelming. You'll get over it. We got another like 4 years where you'll accept it and then we'll move on from it. And then we'll love each other because you'll know who I really am, not just who you want me to be or who I'm supposed to be based on who the hell your grandfather was. It's a different generation.
Yeah, and just to add on what Jay said, I don't think that people realize there's not a lot of good men out there. So if she does have a good man, then you should be praising her. I don't think they get enough praise. So shout out to all the good men that's out there. Go ahead, Louis.
That's a fact.
Dude, I know what.
Appreciation. That's a fact. Appreciation. You can see that she appreciates him. And he feels appreciated. Anybody that feels appreciated, they're going to carry themselves like, the fuck, I'm that dude. I feel good about myself and I'm appreciated for what I do. That shit is an amazing feeling, yo.
And if you pay attention to what he said too, like he knows he has options out there. He said he wasn't really trying to settle down. So obviously by him taking time to marry her, he must have seen some value in her. You don't have to say it. It's just showing his action. You ain't got to necessarily speak it up. He's showcasing that. And I mean, it's all fine. As long as she's not tripping about it, then what's the big deal, right? I'm pretty sure that she's seen enough to suggest otherwise, despite what everybody else is saying. Go ahead, Louis.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, people are a little bit too hung up on, on words and semantics. I think the biggest take for me is that yes, we are overreacting. Certain people are overreacting, right? For those that this is very important, who are part of this, men versus women, gender war, right? The soldiers on the front line, right, with the helmets on and their notepads and their tablets and their microphone. There's the ones that really, really care about that stuff. I think for the most part, people know how to filter themselves within friendships, relationships, partnerships, etc., fairly well, to the point that they know where they stand. I just think that at this point of the game, I find that a lot of people who are currently in relationships, they're holding on to dear life. Like if it's their last pension, you know what I'm saying, check, or their last check for the week, their life savings, they're holding on to their life because they got the opportunity to hear both sides of men and women and what they think and how they view these last couple years, that they're like, holy cow, I did not realize that this is what people really felt. I did not realize this is what really people were thinking behind the scenes. Is this really how they're reacting? Let me go in this kitchen and go make this 3-course meal for my man and praise him as soon as he walked through the door. I am not getting rid of him to sign up for what's going on out here. It's like the current you locked in a few years ago and got yourself an interest rate of 2.94, and they're out here trying to sell you this nice 7 to 8% interest rate on this new home. You're like, nah, buddy. I'll put in the time, I'll put in the work, I'll put in the elbow grease needed to make this thing work, to make this thing look beautiful. But I am not about to sign my life away to go across the pond thinking that the grass is greener on the other side, knowing very damn well that the grass is green on the side in which you water and nurture it. And sort of that's what a lot of women are waking up to. And it's funny that we're talking about this because I had a woman who told me and told a group of people yesterday, they're like, "Yeah, you have no clue how much I praise my man every day." Like once I understood like what's like really, really out here, I don't think that I could just go out here and do better. You know what I'm saying? Like find all the attributes and stuff like that. Nope. You know what I'm saying? And I think it takes that level of exposure for people to garner an outrage. The people who are outraged is because they're currently in that mix, being outraged in their current situation, or they're just in the midst idling, in the dating realm. But for those who have a relationship and have seen how things have unwind, they're not so much. They're not overreacting. They're reacting positively towards their relationship. They're like, look, I love you. I didn't tell you that this week. I cherish you, X, Y, and Z. People are getting a dose of reality now that the curtain has been pulled back, right? They understand what is inherently out there for them, especially if they don't play their part right. So I think the video that Paris did stands on merit. Are you?
All right. We're going to go to Nola.
Lewis, I think you're talking about me. You could say it's about me. I'm definitely one of those women who was like, wait a minute, you know what? Yeah, let me make sure everything is great over here. But Simone actually tweeted a statement. She said, "Are y'all done yet?" And I think that spoke volumes. Like everybody's going off, and it kind of seems like everybody's overreacting because there are millions of people talking. You know what I mean? And it's not millions of people bashing him or are in disagreement with him. It's just that we want to focus on that part of it. But I've seen a whole lot of people actually support them and show a lot of love to them and agree with what he said. But like I said at the top, this is a Simone thing. If Simone has a problem, then, that's something that she has to deal with.
All right.
It's only a big deal because they're celebrities. I said that from jump.
But don't get it twisted though, Cookie, though. Don't get it twisted. There are people who work everyday jobs, have ordinary lives, right? 9 to 5, part of their local community, etc., who think and have adopted this new mindset and think that they're actually a celebrity themselves and use this sort of pop culture vocabulary or lexicon in their relationships and in and around their dynamic. I hear it. I'm starting to slowly hear it. I'm thinking it's
delusional, though.
It is delusional. I'm thinking it's just a seasonal cold. It will come and go. But this bad boy is fighting to stay as hard as it can.
Yeah, I remember being in a call center, just you know, like he said, there's celebrities, regular life call center celebrities, yo, BBLs, you know, Vera Wang clothing. Like, what the fuck? Why are you wearing $50,000 clothing in a damn call center? You know what I mean? Like, Ferraris in the parking lot because it was a good month on the sales floor. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. Then 2 months later, that same Ferrari getting scooped up on a flatbed, taken away because you missed them payments. Like, yo, people are suffering out here. Whatever you want to think, everything you see on these timelines, people are hurting, yo. People are broke. People are suffering. People are alone. They don't want to be alone, but they're doing everything in their nature to stay alone because they don't know how to say, I need help. I need love. Hold me, hug me, help me. Nobody knows how to do that. So their reaction is to stab. What you cooking, Shan? You don't know how to cook. I bet you don't taste better than mine. You know what I'm saying? JR, your beard look like, you know what I mean? Like, people are just looking, they wake up looking to stab you, man. Hank, I bet you ain't got Vanity 6. I bet you ain't got more records than me. You know what I mean? Like, anything, yo. That's just them wanting to say, yo, Hank, pay me some attention, please. Shan, can I have some attention? JR, can I talk for a minute, man? Can you lend me your ear, dog? People are hurting, man.
Go ahead, Shan.
I mean, yes, I do think that people are overreacting. Before you called me this morning, Simone was not on my mind. When I log off, Simone would not be on my mind. So I don't know why people are so consumed in this. Yeah. And I think that sometimes when you see people on the internet, it's usually one comment, they walk away, live their lives, and then if they may get a reply and then they come back to it. So it looks like it's just always that person is on, you know, because you're going back to the same, I guess, the same chat. But I can tell you for the most part, I'm pretty sure the grand majority of Black women are not thinking about Simone. I would hope they're not thinking about Simone and her relationship. I would like to say I wish them well. I hope their relationship lasts a lifetime, and I'm happy for them.
JR, real quick. You see in the comment in the chat, Tony Touch. Can you pull that up? I'm sorry. Just real quick. Tony Touch. Bingo. It's my point exactly. What I was just saying in the comments. Tony, hit me up, baby. We could talk. I'll loan you my ear, bro. Yes, my beard is patchy. I'm working on it, brother. I'm still working on it. I'm about to get some of that assured, man, and I'm going to tighten it up. But I love you, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a stab right there. That's, you go to shade room, you go to comments.
I was trying to say, what was the point in
Facts.
that? What was the point of that?
You just need a hug. Hit me up, bro. Whatever you going through, man, hit us up, dog.
Now, would that be wrong to say that that's zesty? Because that's stuff that women do.
But that's hurt. That's, can I have some attention, please? You know what I'm saying? He looked like full force, like he a little brother of full force, but that's attention.
So can somebody explain? So when you say zesty, does zesty mean feminine traits or attributes or saying something like that?
You know what zesty means.
No, hold on. Or does it mean gay? Because I think those are two different things. If I say somebody's acting zesty, that means they may be looking a little effeminate or saying something a little feminine. It doesn't necessarily mean that I think that they're, because I would say, oh, he's questionable. If I'm trying to say that I think that he might be gay. So I'm trying to get clarification because maybe I am using zesty in a wrong term and I should be using the word effeminate, or that sounds a little.
No, that's worse.
So why do you use it if you don't know what it means to describe a man? That makes no sense to me.
I thought that I was using it in the right terminology. If you're saying like how with Tony, even though he said he was playing, the fact that he said that, to me, that's what women do. So am I saying that he's gay because he did that, or am I saying he's exhibiting a feminine attribute? You understand? So that
depends on the male you're talking to.
I think zesty to me is like the way you walk, the way you talk. Like characteristic. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody just floated in the room that you in right now, you know what I'm saying? Switching their hips, wrists, that's zesty. I think it's the full makeup. Cracking a joke or something like that, I wouldn't call that zesty. You know what I mean? Sassy, I think again, like zesty, is like a full characteristic, you know.
But Jay, they say that when they want to call a man
No,
gay.
absolutely.
That's
They
exactly what they're
They
saying.
do that exactly. They do that in it, but that's
If
that's
I want to call a
hurt.
man gay, I'm gonna call him gay. You can
That's
But
speak for
hurtful.
y'all
whoever
use
else
all
you
type of
want on
words
this
to call a man.
panel, but I'm not gonna beat around the bush, Hank, and you
Yeah,
already
but
know
this
that.
all y'all use all type of words of slang to call
But
a man
you
the
know,
same thing
I've been called
without
all type
saying.
of words as well. May I real quick?
No, we
When I
not
was on
talking
the
about the women.
sideline,
We talking about the word and the word zesty. We're not
I
talking about
know
what
I'm
the woman
about
being
to let
called.
me explain it to you. Let me
I've
give
never
you.
called a woman zesty, but you
We're
always just
born
call a man
zesty.
zesty.
What do
Yeah,
you
I
mean?
bet you never called another woman zesty, but
We
you
are
always
born
described a man as
zesty.
zesty.
Well, that's why I said I thought it was about feminine traits because, yes, you're right. I wouldn't say
You are.
a woman is zesty because she is exhibiting feminine traits. But if she did something that was masculine, I would use a different word for that if I'm trying to associate with her being like, I'd be like, oh, that was kind of butchy. She might be, you
Butch.
know what I'm
Thank
saying? I would
you.
use that word to describe.
Butch.
I'm trying to say that I think that she may come across as a little gay. I would use the word butch or dyke or something along those lines. If I'm trying to say that a dude is gay, then I would use the word gay, or I'm like, I don't know, he's a little questionable because he's showing a slew of mannerisms that I would associate as to being gay. So that's why I was saying, for me, in terms of the word zesty, I thought that that was just more along the lines of saying like, oh, that's a feminine trait.
See, I
So that's
think
what I
men
said.
Are
use
I
the
you
word
using it in
zesty.
the wrong
No,
context.
you're not mistaken. I think men see the word zesty as a noun, and we are using it more of a verb, a descriptive or an adjective, right? So you can be acting zesty or doing something zesty, right? And that's a verb, adjective. Men are like zesty is zest. That is a noun. That is a female. That's somebody that's gay. So that's the word. It's a language barrier between men and women. So I give
Because he
Hink a lot
didn't
of
come
flack,
across as gay
but
to
I
me
get
at
what he's
all.
saying. For men that real tough men like Hink claim to be, I'm just playing Hink. Like Hink being called or hearing men get called zesty is like you might as well call it
offensive?
gay at that
Offensive,
point. I
exactly.
get it. It's
And
super offensive.
I don't
But
understand.
to us, if we think somebody
Play
is
that gay
gay, we'll
shit.
be like,
You don't
girl.
play that gay shit. Now, people, different areas up north, maybe out west, they okay with that. Dudes from the south don't like to be. Man, that's the last thing you want to be calling
But
a
I've
man from
never
the
called
south.
you. You don't do zesty things, Hink, though.
Exactly. That's my point. If he did, then that would be. That's why I'm saying I just really think that when maybe men, like you said, men are going to be more offended because they're reading into it as a she's trying to say that he's gay, but because he didn't, what's his name? Mr. Owen. I don't know the first name.
Jonathan.
Oh, Jonathan Owens. He doesn't come across to me as gay. He didn't at all.
But get this, Hink. If
He
a
doesn't.
woman was to call, if a man was to call us butch, we'd be all in our feelings and think that he was trying to call us a
Gay, and
lesbian.
that's the word. That's what I'm trying to
So
say.
I get where you're coming
Yeah.
from, but you need to understand where we're coming from in our female language versus your male language. So in female terms and in female circles, because I have female friends, zesty is not calling a man gay. If we're calling him gay, we like, is he DL? Is he gay? That's what we say. We don't. If we're saying, "Oh God, that was zesty," that means that we're saying like, "Oh, he in his feelings, or he acting like a female, like he doing like a little female. I got a little female tendencies." But he don't have to be gay to do that. So, say for instance, like I dress up for my games. I'm in pumps. I'm in heels. I've got the makeup. I'm coaching on the sideline. I'm hollering at the refs. And one of my coaches be like, one of my athletes would be like, they'll grab it and be like, Coach, relax. You acting kind of butch. And I was like, and I'll sit down and I'll reel it back in. But if the if a male coach was to come out to me, coach, you acting real butch, I'd have a totally different reaction. So I get where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? But the simple fact of the matter is we have to learn each other's languages, because you getting offended by a woman saying zesty isn't getting anywhere, because the definition of zesty for men and women is two totally completely different things. That's all I'm saying. Because I hear this on panels all the time, and I just really wish somebody would explain it. So I'm doing it now. Zesty to women is just kind of like, why he do that? You know what I mean? That was zesty. That's petty. You know what I'm saying? But to men, it's kind of like, did she call me gay? And absolutely, we get it. So should we change it? Yeah, but we wouldn't we don't sort of, man, you're zesty. I wouldn't say that to a male friend of mine. That's just something that you're commenting on, that you see. You don't know these people, and you can give your opinion about, but you know how to use it and when to use it. So, I mean, I don't know.
Cookie,
I'll just
let me
stay
say
away
something
from
real
it.
quick.
I'm
Let
good.
me say something real quick.
I'll go after you, Lewis.
I think what's happening is that for the longest time, and you guys have to admit, for the longest time, a lot of men of all ages across the country have heard women kind of weaponize their sexuality against them. You know what I'm saying? You don't like this, oh, you gay. Like, you didn't kiss me on the first date, oh, you must be gay. So it's like we can't deny the fact that we have heard this, and we have heard it used and weaponized against other men for like the smallest minute of things, right? To kind of bruise their ego, to kind of knock them down a peg, to kind of like belittle them, emasculate them, right? We have to be honest. So when a lot of men hear that, they're automatically going to, to that response. They're like, well, like, why is she trying to call me gay? Or why is she trying to like emasculate me, right? It's because, what I'm saying, women use and throw that questionable sexuality component against men, what I'm saying, to kind of combat whatever response they might have, or if they're themselves in their feelings or they feel a particular type of way. Like, we have to be very honest, because I hear it, even when we have conversations on Clubhouse, or even when we have conversations on these panels. I've heard women say that and use that, even when it's not warranted. So I'll yield right there.
I get that. And just a short reply, JR, I'm sorry. I get that. And I actually can relate to it. I'm not a feminist by any means, but because I was an athlete and because I'm into sports my whole life, I used to get called a tomboy my whole life, right? So I get it. That's all I'm gonna say. I get it.
Did everybody speak on that?
I just
Reacting?
have one more quick thing to say, that coming from the culinary world, the word zesty means something completely different to me. But the people who I have heard use it, none of them, and I don't know if this is a geographical thing, but when you hear a man labeled with the word zesty, it means flamboyant. And what is flamboyant energy related to? So you might be saying it as, oh, his actions look a certain way, but what is your end game? What is the purpose of saying his body language or the words that he's using are feminine? There is an implication there that I think we're not touching on.
Well, that's the part that I was saying with Paris. There is no further for me, and I can only speak on me. There is nothing further because I don't think that deep into it. So for me, if I say that I never called the man zesty per se. I said that was real sus, or maybe even like I call it straight out feminine, because that's who I'm used to seeing do that. Like one of my friends called me mentally ill because I said that, but that's just how I see it where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the deep south, where I used to do farm work and build houses. So I was a little girl walking around in basketball shorts and overalls, and I was the tomboy. I was the little girl that everybody thought was a boy until she took her hat off, loving basketball seriously style. So for me, it doesn't go further than, yo, that was real petty, or like that's a feminine trait. It's all about double standard for me. I believe in double standards. I believe in gender roles. So for me, seeing a man be like, "Well, I'm the catch. I'm the prize." It's kind of like, well, I'm used to women hearing women say that. My mom used to say that. My aunties used to say that. I've never heard a man say that out of his mouth until 2023. So for me, it was like I relate that directly to my aunties, my mom, and that's zesty verbiage to me. Does that mean that that man is somewhere in the dark with a man? No. Can we look up and see if he has a single mom? Because that just, to me, I just don't hear, like, I don't see he going on an interview and be like, yeah, I'm the catch. And especially the way that he said it. I don't see he doing that. I don't. Now, will he say it? But even the way he said it earlier, I am a damn catch, was way different from the way Jonathan said it. Am I lying? Am I lying?
Go ahead, Shane.
Real fast. So I'm from the South, and when we say zesty, we know what that implies where I'm from in Alabama. However, I think this entire generation, I've heard it on these panels. Like, for example, when Drake polishes nail, oh, he looking a little zesty. We know Drake got some. We know he ain't out here, we know that he's a man, but people see it all the time. Or we see a guy with a kilt on, the new generation of rappers, they wear dress, we know that they're not gay. But we may say, I've heard men say, oh, they acting a little zesty, or they acting a little certain kind of way. So I kind of think it's the same thing. I don't think it always means that she's saying that he is, because obviously he's married to a woman. We don't know of anything him being with another man, so that would take the gay out of the situation. I just wanted to bring clarity to that, because I have heard it even in this spaces outside of this conversation, but in regards to other people, other celebrities who may do something that's not traditionally man-like, so to speak. So,
quick question to the guys: would y'all, if y'all are having y'all guy conversation, and like you that dude, do you actually use the word saying, yo, I'm a catch in your male conversation? Is that a term that dudes use?
I'll be honest with you. I'm part of a men's group, and I also have a group chat with my close childhood friends who are, married, doing well for themselves, and that has never come up in conversation.
Thank you.
To be honest with you, that's like, when I hear it now, it's like some sort of like new like ingredients to kind of like throw into this cultural mix. But we don't speak like that. At least I have not heard in any space. I haven't walked to the bar shop yet and heard that. So
yeah, it's a new internet term, like high value man. Like nobody was saying that, and you said it, but you didn't use that specific term. I'm sure Luis has heard somebody express that about themselves, however, not using that exact term.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing too. I haven't heard it until I've been really on this panel, or as a response when women say they're the prize, and I'll hear men respond to it and say, no, men are the prize or men are the catch. But it basically,
we're not the prize though.
I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying what I heard. I'm not trying to like kind of debate that. But what I have heard is that there are not a lot of good men out here, and I am one of those good men. I've heard men kind of reference themselves as that, saying that, I'm a good man, but not I'm a catch or I'm a prize.
Right, and that's
so, you want to know the opinion of all the men. So I'm the last man up, really didn't answer. So no, I don't use that word. I'm a catch, but I do say I'm that man. I speak that into the existence to my son. I tell you, I'm a dime plus 99. I don't give a goddamn what you say. I say it all every day, all the time. I don't care. And I speak the same shit into my son. You are that dude. You are the prize. I don't give a damn what these tackheads are saying. They don't mean shit. They're not shit without you. They trying to come at you. You're not coming at them. Let me talk to the men real fast before I get off this soapbox. Men, These women shouldn't move you. These women don't move you. You are that man. You move the women. They move to the beat of your drum. You don't move to the beat of their drum. You the music. You the maestro. You lead the choir. You lead the orchestra. Not the women. They don't do shit but follow directions. And that's how you should move. They should never let you move them like that. They should move how you move. If you don't move, they better stand still right there beside you or behind you or wherever you have them standing. They should never control you and tell you, you the head. They could be a neck, but you the head. You make all the decisions as a man should. And if you don't, you need to reevaluate yourself. Look at yourself in the goddamn mirror. Ask you, why ain't you acting like you should be acting? We don't sit down to pee. They do. They got to take a knee. We don't. The only time we're submissive to a woman is when we ask her for marriage. And then we stand up. That's the only time. Other than that, you should never submit to a woman. They should submit to you.
All right, ladies, how you guys feel about that? Y'all agree with Hank? Just real quickly. Everybody
Absolutely.
agree?
I got 5 brothers and a dad. Yep.
Okay. Mistaken, you agree?
No, but it is what it is. That works for him. That's just not, that's why I wouldn't be a catch for him. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody finds their match. My husband wasn't looking for something like that. You know what I'm saying? He was looking for something totally different, and he found that in me. So we work together. That's it. We work together.
Okay. What about you, Nala? You agree?
Some things, no. I think we have forgotten that without women, nobody would be here. Our bodies are literally the portal that has brought everybody onto this planet. And while I will not disrespect you, while I will not belittle you or try to shrink your value, there's this connotation hearing, you stand there until I move. There's something disturbing about that little part right there. I don't know what the bigger picture of that looks like, but I'm taking it as face value. It is condescending, that part. And I definitely love the idea of women being exalted and women being shown reverence for who we are and what we are in this world.
Would you say that that's a trust issue?
Trust issue on whose part?
But as far as you trusting him, like if he says that, sometimes people can say things, but they get the picture. They understand their husband, so they don't have a problem trying to challenge really that aspect of him being her boss. But would you say that that's a trust thing? Is because really you're saying it's not okay for him to say that because he's viewing it this way. But I've seen people when they fully trusting in their man. Think about the Simone Biles when he was saying what he was saying. She'd have a problem with it. Everybody else had a problem with it. But maybe she trusts his leadership enough for her to be able to relax and not have to challenge what it is he's saying because she know what it is.
Yeah, it sounds like trust issues on both parts. We can submit to each other. It doesn't have to be one person submitting to the other. The same way I don't agree that one person is the catch, then what is the other person doing? You know what I mean?
I'm curious about, hold on, real quick, Louise. I'm curious about Shan. Shan did say that she agreed. I just want to know, why did you agree with what Hink was saying?
I found some good in what Hink was saying. I do believe that women are the neck and men are the head, but you can't be the head. Your head is useless without your neck. Can't move without your neck, right? So I think they're both equally important to us, right? It's just a little different. It looks a little different. I think that's what Nola's trying to say. We're both equally important, just in different types of ways. There's a balance there, yin yang. But I do agree. Like, I think that, men like this level of respect. They're very, and so when Hink talks, I let Hink have the floor. I don't have to. You just got to know what you're dealing with, right? I don't have to sit here and say all the things that I'm doing. If he feels this way, then I'll just. But I don't think there's anything that he said that wasn't true. I don't like the way he said it, but I don't have an issue with what I think he's trying to say. I think that men need to man up, and you need to look yourself in the mirror. And if you're not leading your household the way you're supposed to lead your household, you're not leading your life the way you're supposed to lead your household, there's a problem. So,
okay, hold on, Luis. Let me just ask Hank this follow-up question real quick. Hank, even though you said what you said, do you think that a woman is equally as important as you?
Oh, yes, she's important. She's very important. I never said she's not as important as me. That's why she's a neck. So we work together. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should have been, I don't know. Maybe I should have gave another example. Maybe people could understand. But we work together. But at the end of the day, I'm the decision maker. If I'm going to take the losses, I want to get the wins too. I'm the quarterback. Give me my praises just like I got to take the fault. If we don't work as a couple, who are they going to? They're not going to look at you ladies. They're not going to blame you as a woman. They're going to look at you as a man and say, why didn't your marriage work? Hank, why did you fail? Why did you let her down? Why is your family homeless? Why are you? And I need everything I got to get with the praises. Give me my flowers.
Okay, mistaken. How does that sound what Hank said now?
Yeah, it sounds better. And that's the thing. I think wording, I know we were talking about zesty, but wording matters. How your delivery, it matters because it's going to resonate with people differently. And I like the way that he just said that, yes, she's equally important. That's exactly what how I felt like for me with my marriage, it works for us. My husband's like, I don't need you to be submissive, but I need you to be cooperative. You know what I'm saying? So for him, his ideal situation is for us to work together, not for everything to be on him. The purpose of being in a relationship is both of y'all are taking on some of that weight, depending on what it is. So for him, being cooperative is very important. Like, you do need to listen there. And I think being cooperative, there are aspects in which you do have to listen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and not to say that we've never been through everything, that we've never been through anything in our marriage. Like, we have ups, we have downs, just like in any relationship. But the idea to understand that both of us bring something valuable to this relationship is why we have been married for 20 years. Because there are times that I have something that, you know, I bring to the table that he doesn't possess. So I feel that piece of his puzzle, and vice versa. There are things that he has that I don't possess that is the piece to my puzzle. So when we're bringing all of those attributes together, it makes it work. It's not that he's better than me or I'm better than him. We both come with what we need to, with the goal in mind, whatever that goal is, that both of us are bringing those necessary parts to make sure we can reach that goal. And if he doesn't do his part and I don't do my part, then neither one of us is going to reach that goal.
Okay, I just want to say this one last thing. I promise, Luis. I know I kept saying it. As I'm looking at this all unfold, I'm hearing that sometimes people may be concerned about delivery, right? Just as you are equally concerned in that same energy that you put into worrying about delivery, you got to be seeking understanding as well. If something is unclear or you don't know, instead of reacting to words, because sometimes you could be conversing with somebody, y'all could be having a disagreement, and then somebody would just take one word and it becomes triggering. And now instead of you guys sorting through whatever the issue is, now it's that one word that you guys are focusing on, and then you never get back to it because by that time it blew up. And then you guys are separated. So never assume if something is unclear or you don't 100% know, but you are aware that it can cause more conflict, then ask that person. Because if we would have asked Hank, like, okay, I'm concerned about your delivery. Like, what do you mean? Do you mean that a woman has no role? Because if you asked them that question, then you would have got clarification. And a lot of times when we are communicating with one another, we don't never sort the issue out because we're triggered. And it probably comes from past trauma, of some sort. It doesn't have to be in the form of physical abuse, but it can be mental. It could be something that happened amongst your siblings and your parents. So Never assume, always ask. And that's why I encourage people never to communicate through text message, because text doesn't have any tone. I don't care how many emojis you use, because them emojis can be phony. You know, sometimes somebody put emoji in there just to kind of soften up what they said, because they know what they said is sarcasm, but they still want to say what they want to say. So always be willing to communicate at bare minimum on the phone, but always inquire and ask, so that you have a great understanding before you write Hink off.
Well, no, that's what I was going to ask you, JR. Do you think that people don't ask for clarification because they think they understood? Because my thing is, if I think that I understand what you've just said, I'm not going to ask for clarification because I think I received the message the correct way. You know what I'm saying? So so the first way that he stated what he said, I think I understood it to be the way that he delivered it, right? But it was on Hank, after somebody else was saying something, for him to then clarify, no, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it like this. So I think that's where I think communication breakdown happens, is because someone delivers something a certain way. The person who's receiving it think that they received it the way that they meant it. And so you're not going to have someone that goes to clarify it even more if they think they've understood the message to be what it said.
Well, sometimes if you think about it, right, if the conversation is still carrying on, or the response is not from an understanding, then there's obviously something going wrong there. So whether he recognizes it or you recognize it, you can kind of sense energy, because if everything is all good, everybody y'all gonna be back laughing. But if after the conversation, like, you seem to be distant, or you just seem to be in a mood, then obviously it wasn't no understanding, because there's anger. So it hasn't fully been sorted out until both of y'all. See, I don't hold grudges, but I know other people hold grudges. That's why it's good for you to understand your personnel, understand who you're working with. Simone Biles may understand how Jonathan is. She may understand how much attention he commands and what he gets. And that's probably one of the things that she did like about him, because a lot of women probably wants him for whatever reason. So she's not really looking at money as the reason as for his value. It may be his looks. It may be because he's an athlete. Some people just had a succession of athletes, so I think that when we look at communication, there's a lot of parts that we don't incorporate with conflict. Some people just shut down and they don't want to talk about it, but it's very important for Hank to understand what's going on with you just as much as you understand what's going on with him. Hank probably always been that way. Like, a lot of times when I talk to people, they always say my tone comes off as being aggressive. And if I hear it enough from enough people, then I may say, well, maybe my tone may be aggressive sometimes, but that's not my intent. But it would take me to be able to understand that. Sometimes when you talk to people and you say this, and they can hear it 1,000 times from everybody else, like, mistake, every time you come on these panels, you always cut people off. But until you realize that you're cutting people off, it ain't gonna do no good. And he may notice that about you. He may just, I'm not gonna tell her. She's going to just learn for herself, either learn the hard way. You can only tell people so many times about themselves. They just don't want to change, or they just don't want it to work. Any and everybody has the opportunity to be able to communicate better, but they just have to be willing. So if you're not willing, then it's like, hey, you're a great person, but you don't know how to communicate. And then he may say, well, I can't deal with this. I understand that everything's not going to be perfect and y'all going to be having disagreements, but that's the beauty about us being different, is that there may be some value that you may be able to bring that I might not have no insight on. But if we can't listen to one another, then what are we doing? All right, go ahead, Luis.
So, my bad, Luis.
I mean, I had one question, Miss Nola. Are you a Christian woman by chance?
I'm not religious.
No. Okay, cool. And my other thing was, look, I just think that people are fighting and windmilling so hard for this is because they're currently in a situation that they don't even want to be in, and they're projecting into their personal situation. Because if you were really with someone that you really like, respect, and admire, all that bullshit goes right out the window.
Go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say is that men don't come to women when they talk real crazy and silly and don't say nothing about your tone to deliver. We accept the message and we move on. We accept whatever message you have to give. We don't say, "Oh, I don't like your tone. I'm not receiving what you're saying." No, women come at men 10 karat crazy, get into face to the point of almost laying hands on them to try to get their message across. It's okay for that. But since I said it in a way that may not always everybody agree on how I say it, it's a problem. Maybe it's one of them double standards. Cookie, maybe we went full circle. Right on.
Me personally, I can't say for anybody else, but all the men in my life, if a woman or even myself, for example, if I said something, will check me. They have if I say something that was out of tone or out of line, it is no bypassing it. Like, I get checked. I know sometimes, especially if I'm in a heated debate or I'm in my feelings and something comes out wrong, even though I'm not thinking like about my tone and delivery in that moment, if I'm already like on 10, I get knocked back down to a 5 real quick with the check that may come from my husband, or when I was younger, may come from my dad, or like I said, the other men in my life. I think most men, so that's why I have to disagree with Hank, is because in my experience, most men that I've been around will not allow a woman to just talk to them any old kind of way. They will definitely check that.
I just want to just run this little last clip because she did. I don't know if this was after the interview, but she said something, and I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Did it again. Let me see.
Yes.
Who do you think is the better athlete in the house?
I think we're good at our own sports. We've tried to pin each other against on like difficulty, ability, and all of that stuff. So at the end of the day, gymnastics is harder if he agrees or not.
Wow. Yeah, that's a nice politician answer, but here's the truth.
I'm not trying to stir anything up in that household.
I know your name. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say. I know your name. You know what I'm saying? So.
But let's go back. Let's go back to what you just said, which is that gymnastics is much harder. Sounds like this has been a household fight for some time. You want to get into it now? Maybe we clear it up.
We fought over it a couple times, and then we vowed once we got married we wouldn't talk about it again. But it keeps coming up every time. But he has done my workout in the gym, and he could barely do it. And then I went to their NFL workout, and I crushed it.
Fired. Shots fired.
She's doing a lot of under.
I mean,
it's a lot.
So, did she embarrass him at all?
I think she out of line. She out of line.
Yeah.
She all the way out of line for that. But was this before or after that interview? Because then she's being petty. She's being tick for tack, which is a bad sign. But you know, I'm rude for them for everybody black. Did she do that after his interview?
So this was posted after. I'm not really sure if they just dug it up, but this was posted after. And this
that would have a lot to do with. But yeah, she was. She definitely could have kept that to herself. Just like he could have kept what he said to himself, being a celebrity. So maybe they have an understanding between each other. Maybe they just both competitive and petty, and they like that about each other. Cause yeah, she wasn't that was
okay, mistaken.
I would go ahead and get the heat. Under the context, I don't know. I'm gonna watch it again. Can you drop it? But the reason I was gonna say is that it seems like it was.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it one more time.
It appeared to be a playful atmosphere.
Who do you think is the better athlete in the house?
I think we're good at our own sports. We've tried to pin each other against on like difficulty, ability, and all of that stuff. So at the end of the day, gymnastics is harder if he agrees or not.
Wow. Yeah, that's a nice politician answer, but here's the truth.
I'm not trying to stir anything up in that household.
I know your name. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say. I know your name. You know what I'm saying? So
But let's go back. Let's go back to what you just said, which is that gymnastics is much harder. Sounds like this has been a household fight for some time. You want to get into it now? Maybe we clear it up.
We fought over it a couple times, and then we vowed once we got married we wouldn't talk about it again. But it keeps coming up every time. But he has done my workout in the gym, and he could barely do it. And then I went to their NFL workout, and I
It's a lot of shots.
Fired. Shots fired.
She's doing a lot of her.
I mean,
it's a lot.
To me, it seems playful. That's all I can say. But if we look at it from what we were saying before, my first reaction is it seemed playful. I'm gonna be honest about that. However, if we're measuring about accountability and looking at it from both perspectives equally, then yes, it can be viewed the same way that when he said that he was the catch and people got offended for her because it felt like she was that he was putting her down. Looking at it from that aspect, then yes, I could say the same thing can be said on that end, where other people could feel that she put him down by saying that he couldn't do her workout, but she was able to do his. So
elite athletes don't play like that.
Mm-hmm.
Elite athletes don't play like that. She was dead serious.
She
was wrong.
Like I said, a lot of conversation, and I just watched a video on this not too long ago in terms of things that are being said and watching body language, how a lot of the body language also gives you information outside of what is just being said. And looking at her body language and her laughing and everybody else laughing and what she said in terms of the context beforehand, it did seem like it was a laughing, in joust, like playing around. But like I said, if I looked at it, if I looked at it, giving it the same weight as we had the first conversation, if she can be offended by what he said, then he can definitely be offended by what she said. That's it. I'm just saying how I took it personally myself this go around, but looking at the same metrics, then yes.
Go ahead, Shan.
Okay, so yeah, I think that she was a little out of pocket. I think the first, when she answered at the beginning, she was going good. She's like, I think we're both great at what we do. It shouldn't have been elaborated on. It should have just been that. However, I'm gonna have to say, I think these are two different things. I think when you're talking about the catch, we're talking about the relationship, which is the marriage. One is talking about the field, gymnastics versus football. It's not necessarily a knock to the couple, but to the game, so to speak. But I will say just a word of advice: don't ever belittle your man in front of people. Period. That is not a good look at all. She should have just said, he's a great football player. I respect everything he does. He's great at it. It shouldn't even be a competition. Like, I do this, you do that, we come together and we do this, So that's the part I do not agree with. But we have to, in both situations, I think there has to be grace. These are young adults. They're not going to get it right. They're just not, unless their publicist there in front of them saying, don't say this, don't say that. 24, I don't know what would have came out of my mouth at 24 or 7, whatever their ages are, because I'm not 24 anymore. So I've lived life long enough to know that there are just things that you do not say, and they just haven't yet. But they are working together. It seems to be a little joke they got going on. Hopefully it went well for him. He understands it. He laughed about it, and hopefully the opposite. So that's all that matters.
All right.
Do y'all remember the interview with Beyonce's mom when she was next to her ex-husband?
That was disrespectful.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask.
That was so out of pocket.
Okay.
What was that? Can you
on a different kind of level of out of pocket?
Okay.
Jay, can you say what happened? Because I don't think I saw it.
So they were sitting there, they were doing an interview, both sitting next to each other on the couch. And she made it
Black Love, when it Black that
yes,
Black Love.
Yeah. Damn, I wish I could find it, man. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it.
And she said it in such a nasty way, like, you're not perfect. Like, the way she said it, I was like,
matters.
While Jay is pulling that up, let me go ahead and go to Luis, and then Jay, let me know when you get it. Just share it to the screen.
I mean, I would say this. I think that first interview, kind of looking at this holistically, I think that first interview, I could tell that he wasn't media trained. I could tell that he wasn't media trained. I don't think that he had the right people in his corner that told him like, hey, I've done this dozens of times and I've coached other people through these. Like, don't fall for the okie doke with these podcasters. They're gonna ask you some tough questions. They're gonna trip you up. They're gonna try to pin you against your significant other, girlfriend, spouse, etc. Right? Answer these things gracefully, stay away from these things, and know how to pivot, right? Don't become a viral moment. And I think that when you're in the moment, it's hard to kind of think about all those things like, okay, like, let me be conscious of this and stuff like that. But I just think that I think maybe perhaps both of them are not well media trained. You know what I'm saying? I think her a little bit less because she's had the spotlight, she's has had the notoriety, especially with the Olympics and stuff like that. So I think there has been like a coaching process with her because I think it seems like she answers things a lot more with confidence and a lot straightforward versus him. It seems like he's trying to grasp for some straws, and I think that's just a little bit of evolving. You know what I'm saying? Not so much with him, but just knowing how to interview well and how to answer questions and how to avoid the pitfalls that might land you into some even more questionable things where people might end up poking and probing your life and picking it apart. Look, I think when you interview like that, you have to play offense and you have to play defense. You have to play offense to make your union look spectacular, and you have to play defense where you have to cover each other where somebody might be trying to crack into your relationship armor. You know what I'm saying? So I think it plays well on both sides, but I just find that, they're young. You know what I'm saying? They're young. They've kind of been in the spotlight. They have a level of confidence. They're very, driven. And sometimes they're just going to say things that might not particularly come out the way that they intended to say it. You know what I'm saying? What they're thinking in their head. But yeah, I would just probably employ that people moving forward think a lot more harder about answering questions and just say, I have no comment for that and just keep it moving.
Okay. No, I'm not sure. You spoke on this?
I just want to say that based on the very limited information that we know about these people, it kind of seems like they're very competitive. I mean, they play competitive sports, and it seems like they're also competitive within their relationships, competitive on a personal level. And she said, we will go at each other. So this is like an ongoing thing. We promised we wouldn't talk about it, but it keeps coming up. So, but she didn't mention who brings it up. You know what I mean? So they're both going back and forth. He's in the gym trying to do her workout. So they're about this life. They're going back and forth with each other. That's how it seems. And it doesn't seem like they're embarrassed. It doesn't seem like they have a problem with it. I do agree that, media training is super important. These are young people. And at some point, they're probably going to say, you know what, we got to do this differently. But let's not forget that a lot of celebrities enjoy going viral, and they might not do things on purpose to make that happen, but once it does, they do enjoy seeing more people being in more conversations.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Brother Hink.
I mean, I like how we just went and said it was jovial, it was jokingly, and all that good stuff, man. But when that man did it, he ought to be ashamed of himself, embarrassing that woman, call himself the catching. But now it's a joke. It's all fun and games. Look, was she wrong? If he was wrong, then she wrong. Well, why are we switching it up? Oh, he young. He no media training in this. No, man, they both wrong then. If that's how we're going to go, like both, y'all want to be equal. Everything won't be equal, won't be treated fair. Y'all both wrong. She dead wrong too. If that's the case, she dead wrong too. So leave it at that, man. God damn.
JR, can you see what AP said? Because, like I said, it's the whole context. So he said that it was Kevin Hart and Keenan. No,
You talking about this?
no, he was saying that it was Kevin Hart, and I'll just read it. It was Kevin Hart and Keenan. The conversation was lighthearted and joking. So for me, I'm looking at all of those things, and that's why I said what I said. Look at who the interviewer was. You know, he's a comedian. She was laughing when they were initially talking. If you look at that's why I said the body language. So to me, I do think it was much more lighthearted than the initial conversation, which appeared to be much more serious. Now, if we look at it through those metrics, that's why I think it's different. But if we're going to say, if the only metric that we're looking at is if what she said, could the other person be offended by that? Then the answer is yes, because that's using the same metric in the first situation versus the second and not taking into account all of the other context that was in the video. Yes. But for me, looking at all of the context in both videos, that's why I saw it a little different.
I think that is a respectfully in the show the podcast which is ironically named The Pivot. They were laughing as well, especially after he said he didn't know who Simone was. They were giving him the look, and they were joking too. I don't think it doesn't take a label of being a comedian to have a lighthearted conversation, but I feel like they were both in the same situation, and they both said something that could be seen as offensive to the other one. And it is equally yoked. Her situation is absolutely no different from her husband's, because that's literally a barbershop style podcast. If you watch it, it's a joking podcast. They sometimes they get serious. It depends on who's on the show that day. But come on, it's exactly the same thing. They did exactly the same thing to each other. That's why I asked JR, when did she do that? Because it would seem like that would be her response to what her husband did, and they just being petty. As far as them being competitive, absolutely. Elite athletes are going to be competitive. She is not gonna break. He's not gonna break about who's the better athlete. That just happens in athletic relationships. Now putting the business of the results out there, she was wrong for that. If that's actually what happened, that she shouldn't have said that she crushed his workout and he could barely finish. That's wrong. It's wrong. No matter whether she was joking or was a joking environment, that's not their business. That's how I feel about it.
Okay. All right. Let me Jay got this link about the Beyonce. Let me go ahead and play this. Where is it?
And so this time around, I'm trying to be a wife first. Not all the time, because it's not always possible. And sometimes I am a mother first. But
ladies, that's another mistake right there. If y'all just see the man's hand positioning over his head, that kind of indicates that he's a little bothered, he's a little irritated. That's another prime mistake, man. Like when you married or you in a relationship, you got to make the man feel like he's important, because oftentimes we feel like we kind of get the bad end of the stick. Kind of peep his hand movements.
Always possible, and sometimes I am a mother first. But
yeah, dude is pissed, man. Look at him. He's like, what kind of shit is this? All right, so on this next clip, man, of course, the shade gets even deeper. This is the one that got the internet going crazy. I want y'all to check this out, man. And ladies, please take note of this, man. Like that was definite shade. I mean, if your man ain't perfect, okay, that's cool, but nobody needs to know it but you.
I envisioned the type of man I wanted. I prayed for the type of man I wanted, and I got pretty much that. Is he perfect? Absolutely not. But you know, he has a lot of the qualities. He has a lot of the qualities that that I love, and we're having a really good time, and I'm enjoying life. So there is hope, women, ladies.
I can't believe she took it there. Yeah, man, that's crazy. But ladies, yeah, that's definitely textbook on the things not to do in a relationship, the things not to.
I agree with Shannon in the chat. That shit did not age well. Yo, that did not age well. Like you can see the sweat coming down his face.
I saw the divorce papers in his mind as he was scratching his head. How can I get out of this the fastest? Mm-mm.
And you know, he was joking, trying to play it up like, oh, I'm not perfect, you know, clearly trying to lighten the load. She's like, no. You know what I mean? Like,
Beyonce mama have a tendency to think she her daughter. So there's that too.
That wasn't a good look at all whatsoever. I don't care
okay.
how you spin that.
So
No.
it did look bad. They ain't
Yeah,
tripping.
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I
What
mean, it could have even looked, she could have made it look better if she even then said, and I know by no means am I perfect either. The way that she framed that, it looked like she was just saying that he's not perfect and
She
left it
could
at
have
that.
cracked a
As
smile
if,
at him or
as
something.
if she don't like, as if she does everything right and doesn't do anything wrong, and he's not perfect. You know,
So,
I'm
so
like,
you want that? You want the same woman that said that bullshit to take accountability? Is that what you're saying? Mistaken?
oh,
Yeah, it wasn't
absolutely,
gonna happen.
because
Yeah, it wasn't gonna happen. It wasn't gonna happen.
not perfect either. You know what I'm
It wasn't
saying?
gonna happen. No accountability about her.
Now,
None.
there's one aspect that I do think I can again, coming from a female, looking through a female lens. I'm gonna preface what I'm about to say about the first part and what she said about sometimes, you know, I'm a mother first. I think as women, we do fall into that sometimes. Like I can look and understand. I'm not saying that it's right, but as women, and men complain about it, like I've been in these spaces and have had conversations, is that sometimes that women do find it hard at times to balance, or should I say always put the husband first when there's kids involved, because the kids have a need, and you do tend to overly focus on making sure that they are taken care of, while at the same time in doing that is not necessarily registered in your mind that you're neglecting the husband. So that is definitely an area that I could say most women fall short, including myself, that I have
So
fallen
you're saying
short.
that most women are selfish, right? Most women are selfish.
No, that's not selfish if you're giving to your kid. That's the
Or
direct
selfish if you're not giving it to your husband. It is selfish because he's
No.
first, not them goddamn kids. Fuck them kids. Men first.
That's why I said from
Husband
a
first.
woman, I think what's being selfish is a man not understanding
Okay.
that that the kids need to be taken care of, and they could help, which would then give you opportunity to give more to the husband. But what I'm saying, I'm not getting in a debate between the back and forth about it being selfish and not selfish. I said this is an area that as women, that's something that we do need to get better at and work on.
You
I
realize
necessarily
her
say
kids in her 40s, right? Her kids are in her 40s.
and I
40
just
something year old kids. I mean,
okay, I'm trying to finish.
you're right. My
So
bad.
so what I think women do need to work on in that area, myself included, when my kids were younger, I'll say is that their needs, because I knew that it was, I think what women think about is the fact that they know that kids, especially when they're children, they can't do a lot of things on their own. And so we are giving, we're taking care of, we're, mothering, we're doing the things that we need to do as a mom. And in our thought processes as a grown adult, all right, he got it. He can handle that while I'm taking care of this. And it gets so much so that we're doing too much of that with the kids, where we are not necessarily giving the effort that we need to the husband. And so that's an area that we do need to work on as women. So when she said that, it resonated with me in terms of I understand where she's coming from, but it doesn't mean that what she was doing, just like most women, do, it is not right.
All right. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and bring this into a close. I know kind of a little bit over time, so let me go ahead and get to these super chats real quickly. Archie 999 says, if you watch Cat Williams comebacks, would you call that zesty? Women calling heterosexual men zesty is disrespectful. Silent Sniper $5 says, the moment that women start to cancel for gay bashing and insinuating, they will stop the zesty and sassy talk. LD member for 9 months says, so y'all dudes really advocating for a dude to say he the catch. Y'all know damn well men don't talk like that. That's soft. I'm with the women on this one. Matthew Pearson $2 says, seen facts. I'll never boot you from another panel. Dedicated to my children. Gifted 5 Lapeef Network memberships. Appreciate that, sir. And lastly, Frenchie K757 member for 10 months says, salute to the men who are the prize. Thank you, sir. All right, let me just make sure I'm doing well-being check. Everybody okay? Any hurt feelings reports need to be filled out? I need to contact HR. No, we good? Okay. Mistaken, you good? Okay. I just want to make sure. Want to make sure this is a safe space. I know.
Hink hurt my feelings.
Oh, okay. Say less. Let me go ahead and put the memo out right now.
Give me the paperwork.
I'm gonna CC you on the email as well.
Hink hurts feelings, just people being in the chat listening to the show.
I'm gonna end it by saying, make sure you guys click that link that's pinned to the top of the chat and go ahead and get your Assured Man. This is the last day to get 15% off right now. So go ahead and get it. Get your husband right, man. Get your brother right. Uncles, whoever has a beard, get them right. And I suggest the kid, even though we got the 2-packs, I should strongly suggest the kid. And I also shout out to the sponsor again, Teach Hanley. It's 30% off along with a free gift. Teach has a bunch of goodies. Let's make sure we maintain our skin as well. Make sure we up to par because we are the prize, right, man? Not a prize, got to maintain it.
No, y'all are the catch.
We the catch too. We all that in that song. Yeah. Hank said himself today on the panel, so we're gonna go ahead and say right on, brother. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's make sure we support each other too, man. Check out She Critique as well. She Critique go live on Friday on the Lapeef Experience channel. So make sure y'all come in and tap in and enjoy that experience as well. Also, I did put a link out there about the masquerade in January 20th in Dallas. It's a masquerade event that we're doing. So make sure you guys click that link and come on out and have some fun. Anything else? Any final words?
Yeah, I have a great New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year.
Have a good time, guys.
This is Eve.
Y'all be safe on the road if you're going out.
Be safe if you go out.
I made it with this one too. I know a lot of people wait till 2024, but I'm the person to say, because once you get to once you get to like May, people will say, I'm just going to start it over in 2025. I don't know why y'all wait till 2024. Whatever you're going to do, just do it now. Just start it now.
Period.
Just start it now, do it now, and just be consistent. So even if you do have something in 2024, one of the key things in life is being consistent. And it's not a lot of people that understand it. Just like it's very few people that are healthy and in shape. There's very few people that are consistent. And it's very few people that have good character as well. So I think if we improve on those things, I think that you will see a difference in your life. And it's a lot
I'm sorry.
Let's go ahead.
Can y'all please stay out the gym if y'all not gonna stay? Like, please. And learn the etiquette, or if you come and learn the etiquette in the gym before you come, like, please.
Well, just stay off your phones in the gym. So whenever you get done, get sat in. Don't just be sitting there like this.
Oh my God.
No phones in the gym policy. 2024.
But I had this old lady come tap up to me and was like, are you done? I said, oh, I'm sorry. The gym was pretty empty. I didn't know nobody was watching me. So I had to go ahead and get out the equipment, man. But yeah, just stay off the phones. All right. I ain't got no outro music, so we're going to go ahead and end on that note. I'll let y'all later. See y'all in 2024.
Peace.
Bye.